We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Alexi Ramirez, Avi Garcia, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Michael Brantley, Jason Kipnis, Carlos Santana, and the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrell. Since we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. In the opener, we scored 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth inning in a very thrilling 4-3 victory. Then last night, they beat us 6-2. But this afternoon, we probably have the marquee pitching matchup around the major leagues today.
Jeff Samardzija goes to the mound looking for his first win of the year, and he faces Corey Kluber, who coincidentally is looking for his first win of the year. Kluber last time out against Minnesota had a perfect game through 5, and then his defense let him down. The reigning Cy Young Award winner has got great stuff, and he's got a cutter he can use to either side of the plate. He's just awfully tough. 4-5 lifetime against our Sox. Jeff Samardzija last time out against David Price was brilliant. He went 8 innings, got a no decision. So we got David Price last time, Corey Kluber this time, maybe Sandy Koufax next time, who knows. But as you can see, against our Sox, Kluber has a 3.09 lifetime ERA. Jeff Samardzija at this ballpark, a 1.73 ERA. Never facing Cleveland is an advantage. They don't know what he throws. They don't know how he throws it. And hopefully today, Jeff will be equal to the task, as both of these teams are having trouble offensively.
Well, they both need a spark. We thought we had one last night with the table setters getting aboard in the 4th inning. Couldn't do anything with it. But they both are not in a rhythm.
When you take a look at the offense, you'll realize why both teams are 5-8. The pitching for both teams has been pretty good. But runs scored, they're last in the American League, tied at 44. Batting average for the Indians is woeful. For the Sox, not a great deal better. They both hit 11 home runs. For the Indians, 11 solo shots, all on the road. On base percentage, under 300, and that for a team is not particularly good. Factor in that the Sox are last in the league in walks, and you'll realize why neither offense is really producing a great deal at this point. But the Sox offense is going to be a good one. Let's hope it starts today.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. And Wednesday Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by DraftKings.
brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. It's a chilly day, very windy here. 43 degrees at game time. And let's take a look at how Terry Francona is going to line up his Cleveland Indians for the game this afternoon. It's going to be Michael Bourne leading it off. Then Jason Kipnis, the local product, at second, with Michael Brantley, the DH. Carlos Santana, Brandon Moss, David Murphy, Lonnie Chisenhall, Roberto Perez, who is having a pretty good run at it, along with Jose Ramirez rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Jeff Samardzija left to right. Melky Cabrera, Adam Eaton, and Avisail Garcia make up the outfield, with Connor Gillespie, Alexi Ramirez, Micah Johnson, and Jose Abreu in the infield. Giovanni Soto gets the nod behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jeff Samardzija. On for his fourth start. Last time out against Detroit, he was absolutely brilliant before getting an 8-inning no decision. Only 3 walks and 14 strikeouts in his 21 innings. The umpires for the game this afternoon: Dan Bellino behind the plate, Lance Barksdale is at first, Quinn Wolcott is at second, and Eric Cooper, the crew chief, is at third. So Robin Ventura managing his 500th game in a White Sox uniform. And the man on the other side of the field, Terry Francona, has had 10 consecutive seasons over 500. So both teams come into this one at 5-8, looking for a little traction, trying to get something going in the third, final, and rubber game of the series. And as they throw the ball around the infield, that means we're ready for baseball, and that means I'm going to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. And if traction's the same thing as rhythm, yeah, they're looking for it. Neither team has an offensive rhythm going for them in any way, shape, fashion, or form. So here we go. First pitch of the ball game. Michael Bourne taken for a strike. Michael comes in hitting at 188. But he is 5 for 10 lifetime off Samardzija. Indians hitting 218 as a club with a 3.90 team ERA.
Normally the first time you look at a pitcher, certainly the first time through the order, very much to the advantage of the pitcher, and the Indians have never seen Samardzija.
Just 2 of them, Bourne and Moss. 2-1, and here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gap, sent 400 straight away center field. Lesbian on the grass. There's a fair ball, and there's an out.
Taking a look, it's 43 degrees. The wind 17 miles an hour, although gusting a whole lot more briskly.
So here's Kipnis hitting at 226, takes first pitch strike. I know when I pulled out from Granger this morning coming to the ballpark and I rolled out onto the toll road, there was a light snow going on.
Just pleasant April weather.
And my car temperature, my Genesis, said it was 34 degrees.
But it's warmer by the lake.
It's 35 by the lake.
It's a dry cold.
Whoa, he gone. 2 down.
That one down and in. Perfect pitch when you're ahead of the hitter. He set him up high and away, and then cut this ball on the inside part of the plate, and Kipnis with no chance.
Here's Brantley hitting at 250. No homers. He's driven in 4. Michael is 3 for 8 in the series with a couple of RBIs.
probably best to be catching him now. He had some back problems in spring training. It put him on the shelf at the beginning of this year. We didn't see him in Cleveland in that 2-game series, which was split. But he's just going to get better and better. Hitting .327 last year. Finally, all of that promise he had came to performance.
Pretty good rip at that one underneath it. And the 1-1 pitch just off the plate.
For those of you who are familiar with that WAR statistic, which is wins above replacement, he was a +7. Pretty strong number. But when you hit 20 home runs, you drive in 97, you hit .327, and you're in the conversation for MVP, you're going to have something like that as he finished 3rd in the MVP race.
3-1. And Jeff with a long streak, 63 hitters without a walk. And a 3-1 count. So that streak is on the line. And that's fouled, and that's going to be out of play. So a full count.
There's a look at Carlos Santana in the on-deck circle, the switch hitter. You swing the bat pretty well. And it is hard to maintain the same type of stroke from both sides of the plate.
Payoff pitch. Pops him up, so that streak is going to still be intact as Alexei, making the call, has the ball. And a nice 1-2-3 inning for the big man after half inning of play. It's Indians nothing and the good guys coming back.
Jose Abreu with Melky Cabrera in the 2 spot. Jose Abreu 3. Then it's Adam LaRoche, Avisail Garcia, Connor Gillespie, Alexei Ramirez, Giovanni Soto, and Micah Johnson rounding it out. The defense, an outfield lineup behind Corey Kluber, David Murphy, Michael Bourne, and Brandon Moss in the outfield with Chisenhall, Ramirez, Kipnis, and Santana in the infield. Roberto Perez behind the plate. Corey Kluber on the hill. He's our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher. On for his 4th start, an ERA below 2.5. Only 4 walks and 25 strikeouts in 21 2/3. He's got great stuff.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as Adam Eaton takes first pitch strike from the 29-year-old right-hander. He's a big man, 6'4", 215 out of Jacksonville, Florida. Adam 3 for 7 in the series.
Kluber's got a good tight curveball to go with a cutter that he can throw inside or outside to left-handers. Throws his fastball over 50% of the time and can spot it in and out.
Well, he reminds me a lot of Holiday, Doc Holiday.
Both had perfect control.
They both seem to have everything, have good mound presence, have the same everything. Everything's under control, not just their pitches, but themselves. Fouls that back.
For Kluber, it's come a little later. He was drafted back in 2007 by San Diego Padres, 4th round. Then eventually acquired by Cleveland in a deal, a 3-way trade. It sent their Jake Westbrook to St. Louis. That turned out to be just a great trade. Kluber keeps getting better.
Got him. Well, sometimes I know I've played with and against a guy who was Rookie of the Year at 29.
This one catching the top part of the strike zone. Good movement. And that's one of the things Kluber has. He's got a fastball when he wants to throw it. He can throw right at the hip with a left-hand hitter. A lot like Greg Maddux. It eases back over the plate. Left-handers give up on it. And the movement puts it in the strike zone.
Well, if you got a breaking ball like he has down in the end, like Smarja struck out Kipnis on top half of this inning, that makes it a lot easier to pitch up. Cabrera 3 for 8 in the series. We've talked about it for years now. A lot of pitchers don't understand. It's a lot easier for a hitter to cover in and out than it is in and out and up and down.
I think that's one of the reasons why Kluber had such a good year, is that he could command all 4 quadrants of the strike zone.
Yeah, if you got a guy who's just, for the most part, which 85% of the pitchers in the years past have been sinker slider guys. It's a lot easier to cover the plate on those guys than it is on guys who can pitch up and down.
The curveball is making a comeback. One of the reasons why everybody went to sinker slider is the umpires were having a hard time calling the big curve.
Well, I'm talking about prior to that.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't getting that many strikes, and so you're right. Sinker slider, similar pitches. Most of the time, they're both down.
Prior to that, the umpires had a streak there that they were changing the culture of the game, because if you had a good curveball, you couldn't throw it for a strike. That lasted for about 10 years. Then it started coming back into reality again. Here's the payoff. Ball hit hard.
Kluber served notice that he was going to be a pretty good pitcher in 2013. He was given an opportunity to start for the Indians. He went 11-5 with an ERA in the high 3s. Last year, magnificent, 18-9, 2.44 ERA, but 269 strikeouts, only 51 walks, and 235 2/3 innings.
Two down. So with 2 out, let's check out our picks to play. Mangio, our director and the crew, went with Garcia. Steve's going with Cabrera. And Jeff Shearer and all the great folks at Ditka's. Jeff Shearer and all the great folks at Ditka's and I are going to go with Eaton. As here's Abreu. He's 3 for 8 with a homer in the series.
And last night, Carlos Carrasco fanned Eaton. He fanned Cabrera. That was in the first inning. And then Abreu came up and hit his 4th home run of the year on a hanging breaking ball.
That ball hit high and deep into right field. Stretch! Stretch! They go back. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes! He just reached down and flipped it into the bleachers in right center.
And this afternoon, Corey Kluber struck out Eaton, struck out Cabrera, and Abreu hits another solo home run, his 5th. He's driven in 10. Our Ford home run replay. This shows you how strong he is. This is a cutter. He gets too much of the plate, and Jose, as he's done many times before, makes him pay.
That's his 14th first inning home run. And there's a base hit back through the middle for Adam. It's his first hit of the series. And here comes Avi. Avi at 279, a homer. He's driven in 3. His home run last night, 407 feet. This one was estimated at 396. Takes the strike. And just the second home run that Kluber's thrown. .43 degrees as we speak. Right-handed hitters are not going to beat him on his breaking ball. First of all, he didn't hang many.
No, that was one of a few mistakes he made to Abreu, trying to get it away, trying to cut it away, and it had the whole plate. He's going with the outside fastball here. Let's see if he can lay off if it's out of the zone.
Good take. Yes, he did. And that'll retire the side, but not before the home run by Abreu is 5th of the season. He now has 10 RBIs, and Sox lead at 1-0. Fight with the Predators. It all starts at 8 on CSN Plus. 1-0 Sox here in the top of the second. It'll be Santana, Moss, and Murphy. Gillespie out there, short right field.
Santana a little unusual in that they put a severe shift on him from both sides of the plate. And normally a hitter will have one stroke as a left-hand hitter, a different stroke as a right-hand hitter. And Santana's going to try to pull most everything from both sides.
Mike has got it. 1 out.
Enjoy all the benefits of being a White Sox season ticket holder by purchasing a prorated 71-game full or 23 or 4-game split season ticket plan. Great locations are available now. Packages begin during the week of May 5th. To purchase or view a list of benefits, visit whitesox.com or call 312-674-1000 today.
So here's Brandon Moss. Anything from just a little bit above the belt up, he has really been having trouble getting to.
And Oese showed last night that when you establish that high fastball, he does not react well to straight changes.
Very quickly, the count 0-2.
He had 21 home runs before the All-Star break last year, then started to have some physical problems. Only hit 4 home runs the second half of the season. Those physical problems followed him to spring training. Got kind of a late start. Indians are hoping he'll come back like he was the first half Oakland day of last year. Southpaw enjoying the wind.
Count evens. Marja being an All-American football player, this is kind of weather. We had another right-hander a few years back. And anytime it was below 50 degrees, you could just wrap it up and send it to Cooperstown. Except he wasn't a football player. He was from Miami.
Is that Alex Fernandez?
That's who it was.
He was unhittable.
Just one of the best cold weather pitchers in history of the game.
I know.
Full count.
Moss had off-season hip surgery and it's still plaguing him a bit.
And that string is broken now with a base on balls. Got ahead of him. So the 1-out walk. And here's Murphy. Hit his first home run last night.
He was able to take advantage of the conditions. He got one up in the wind into right center field. And it left the yard.
Takes first pitch strike. One out, 1-1 to count.
Murphy originally drafted by the Angels, didn't sign in the year 2000, then went from a 50th round draft pick the first time to a first round draft pick with the Red Sox in 2003.
goes over, and while we have a moment, I want to send out a big White Sox hello and happy birthday to Woody Dimma. Woody, and that's with a lot of love from his family. Lifelong Sox fan, 70 years young today. Happy birthday, Woody. That's out of place through near left side.
David Murphy had a huge year with Texas in 2013. 2012 he had 304. 13 he started off okay and then fell off to 220. Cleveland remembered the damage he did against them when a member of the Rangers. Great place to hit. Had years where he hit in the 290s. So they signed him as a free agent, giving him a left-handed bat. Last year hit 262 with the Indians.
That's how a lot of trades are made.
How a guy will fare against your team as opposed to what he does against some of the others.
Sure. Because what's happening a lot of times, the GM and of course the manager are seeing this one particular guy. Let's say his name is Jimmy Jones. Wear him out. All of a sudden now, let's say he's a right fielder. Your right fielder goes down, one of your outfielders go down, you're looking for somebody else. First guy that's going to pop in your mind is Jimmy Jones.
Problem is he's not facing your pitching staff.
That's usually the way it works out.
and that's what happens.
One out and the payoff pitch. There he goes. And that's another souvenir left side. In fact, that same situation happened to me when I was in 1967. I had a big series against the Red Sox in that year when I was with Kansas City, and you had the Red Sox, White Sox, Twins, and Tigers all within one game of each other. So we left Boston, and a few days later, Tony Canigliaro got hit. Went down. There he goes, and that's trouble. Stay in the air. Can't get it. So they're going to wave him around now. Now they're going to hold him at third. We catch a break there. So one out, runners at the corners.
Eden with a pretty big effort in the gap. And Garcia, a nice job of getting over there and getting the ball back in.
Good job of hitting the cutoff man. If he misses him at all or makes him out of rhythm in that play, Moss is going to score. So now double play still in the water. And here's Chisenhall. Want to know the count.
Chisenhall has yet to ground into a double play this year.
Well, Jeff falling behind. Moss, Murphy, and here to Chisenhall.
Teams have different characters against either a right or left-hand pitcher. The Indians fare much better when a right-handed starter goes to the mound. Against left-handers, because it's predominantly left-hand hitting bench and lineup, they're just 1-5, but they're over 500 against right-handed starters.
Run on 2 hits, no errors for us. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for them. But they are threatening here in the top of the second. That's a high pop-up going foul. Come back here. Come back here. It will. He stays with it. Makes a nice catch. Good play by Gillespie.
Good play and good awareness of the fact that he had Moss at third base, and Moss was looking to see if he stumbled, if he didn't turn around right away. Maybe trying to take advantage of a difficult play as the wind blew it back toward the field of play. You see Moss at third base. Mike Sarbaugh, the third base coach, telling him to tag up. And Connor, after making a difficult catch, especially with the conditions, looks back in, and runners are held at first and third.
Well, that's what made the play, was him staying with it. So here's Perez. Roberto hitting at 231. Takes it outside. Nice catch by Gillespie. Outfield straight up, spread out about equidistant. Maybe just a little bitty gap out there in right center.
Pretty good stat if you want to have a good year. Jeff Samardzija this year has held American League hitters to a 195 batting average with base runners on. Jeff hasn't thrown the good splitter yet. There'll be a lot of pressure on Soto. With a tying run at third base to block anything down.
Swing on the corner. So 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the top of the second.
These guys very familiar with one another. Giovanni Soto caught Jeff Samardzija in his days with the Cubs on the other side of town. And he's caught him in 3 of his 4 early starts this year.
That ball lined in the right field. We got a man there. That's a hang Wilson for Perez. Meanwhile, nothing across. And we'll go to the bottom of the second, leading 1-0.
That last inning when Jeff pitched his way out of trouble was reminiscent of what he did 3 times in the early going in Detroit, head-to-head with David Price. Knowing there was no margin for error, he got out of some huge jams early and then sailed through 8 innings. So that's one of the things that makes him the pitcher he is the fact that he is as good a battler as there is.
He got stones. Big stones.
He doesn't seem to get overly excited about being in trouble because he figures The hitter's in trouble, not him.
So here's Gillespie. Hitting at 206, 1 for 7 in the series. And talking about Detroit, Joe Nathan went down for a rehab appearance, threw 10 pitches and left the ball game.
He was a great pitcher. His arm hasn't been the same the last few years. But as an insurance policy, they acquired Soria. And now Soria is the closer, and he's a good one.
Well, if you take a team on the field with their defense the way they have improved it, especially with Iglesias, it's short and goes out there in center field. Their Achilles is still the bullpen. Right off the end of the bat. 1 out.
That's going to be the one thing that's going to make sure that Kansas City is going to be there. Even with the loss of Holland for any time, Wade Davis steps in and gives him a very strong bullpen, especially eventually Luke Hochevar coming back. But that bullpen is exceptional. If Detroit had an exceptional bullpen, it probably wouldn't be much of a race. So every team has a few problems. And, of course, the Indians, our Sox, and Minnesota hoping that Detroit and Kansas City wait around a bit.
Well, Minnesota, I don't think. They got some good young players. It's going to be a while yet as that ball is ripped by Alexei down into the left field corner. I think for the most part it's going to be a 3-horse race over here. But the reason Kansas City is going to be there again is, first of all, they catch the ball better than anybody in this division. They catch the ball, and then they cover the last 9 outs better than anybody. So our bullpen is way ahead of Detroit's. And over the course of the season, that's going to take a toll on the Tigers. I think it's going to wind up being between us and Kansas City. As here is Soto as Alexei picks up his 5th 2-bagger. But we got to get a rhythm going offensively. If we don't, forget it. Best part about it is we've only played 13 games. We've only got 149 left.
And Alexei has shown conclusively that he does like first ball fastballs as he rifled that ball in the left field corner.
Alexei now with 99 home runs and 199 doubles.
Alexei's going to be running on Bourne and Moss in center and right. Murphy gets the ball quickly in left. Their most accurate and probably their best thrower is Michael Brantley, but he's the designated hitter today. Trying to rest that back with a day game after a night game.
And 43-degree weather. Count evens at 2.
Kluber's made a couple of wild pitches this year. That ties him for the team lead in that dubious department. Adam Eaton talking it over with Vince Coleman, who's going to be here for the home games, talking to his base stealers and base runners.
Threw that one right by him. 2 down.
Good movement. That fastball at 94 down and in with late darting movement. This is how you win a Cy Young award. You take a look at that. It started on the inner portion of the plate, just dove inside off the plate. Pretty tough to get anything on it.
So with 2 out, here is Micah Johnson, 2 for 5 in the series. First time Micah has faced Kluber. Lays off it. Good pitch to lay off of right there.
Micah has yet to drive in a run, looking for his first. Nobody paying attention to Ramirez at second base. He can get whatever kind of lead he wants. And he is way, way off the bag.
That evens the count. Well, the unusual thing about Kluber, he still has a screw in his right arm, a stress fracture injury he suffered in high school. So whoever put it in there did a pretty good job.
Certainly hasn't affected his stuff, and now that he's perfected both sides of the plate and up and down, he's a whole lot tougher than he was early in his career.
Chopper 2 hopper, and that'll retire the side. We're into the third, still leading 1-0.
April 25th for Dia de la Familia to celebrate Orgullo Sox.
First pitch strike to Jose Ramirez, the 22-year-old switch hitting shortstop. Comes in at 167 with 1 homer, 1 RBI, and he's 0 for 7 in this series. Up high, 1-1.
Gillespie in on the grass at third. And Abreu just about even with the bag at first to take away the bunt.
1-2.
Here's a switch hitter, and he's got good speed. He leads the team in stolen bases, so it would behoove Jeff in a 1-0 ball game to make sure he doesn't get out.
Alexei playing in perfectly.
Positioning is everything in defense, and playing up the middle for a guy that's not likely to hit the ball the other way. No chance at all once he gets his hands on it to outrun that arm. It's not only accurate, but it is very strong. Now you got to watch the bunt from Bourne.
He had a hot shot. 1 hopper right down to Abreu, leading off the ball game.
He tried to bunt it, but got a high tight fastball and then had a spin out of the way.
One out, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rubber match of this 3-game set. We took the opener 4-3, 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning with 1 out, nobody on. First time we've done that since April 6th of 2005. And again, that was against Cleveland. And that one shoots by him. So good speed aboard.
The fact that you have to play in a little closer to think about the bunt gives you no angles on ground balls. Normally, if you're back at your regular position, Jose's got a shot at this. Not playing close. He had to take a dive and comes up short.
More now, 6 for 12 lifetime off Smarja. So Kipnis. Check swing strikeout. Good. Slider down and in. That was off the plate.
Our Menard's pitch tracks will show you that late movement takes that out of the zone, although Gio does a nice job of framing it and trying to convince Dan Bellino that it was indeed a strike. He wasn't buying it.
Alexei, no. So 1 out, 2 on.
Just barely out of the reach of Ramirez at shortstop. This one hit off the end of the bat, slicing away from Alexei. And Jeff in trouble once again. You have to keep your eye on Bourne. Gone are the days when he can steal a whole lot of bases. He had 61 stolen bases in 2009 with Houston. These days, not quite as quick, but you can't forget about him on the base paths.
Change up down low. Good speed aboard. Bourne at second, Kipnis at first. And Brantley's got a count 2-0. There's a strike.
Brantley not very happy with it, but this one did get a piece of the top of the strike zone.
That's into left field. Can of corn for Cabrera. 2 down.
We wanted to get Brantley out upstairs, and he went up there twice. Brantley lifting that fly ball harmlessly to left.
Here's the dangerous Carlos Santana. Tommy hawked a home run out of here last night.
He's the #1 run producer on this team, especially with Brantley still having some back issues.
Makes breaking ball strike.
Santana, originally a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers organization, came over as a very young player, was a catcher back then. A deal that sent Casey Blake to the Dodgers. They were trying to win, so they gave away some of tomorrow for a good part of today.
0-2 the count. Hard high or slow down and in. One and two.
Lacey is looking over in the dugout, wanting to know if they want him a little more on the first base side of second. He's playing up the middle as it is. He's charged with keeping Bourne close at second.
Oh, he got a cookie right there and missed it. Thank goodness.
Watch where number 4 shows up. Soft breaking ball down and over the middle of the plate.
Get him up. A little too high. Brandon Moss on deck. Santana. And a full count. Came the first switch hitter in 21 years to lead the American League in walks last season. In fact, in each of the last 4 seasons, only played in the major leagues with 90 or more walks. Pay off. There go the runners. And that'll load them up. Second walk issued by Samardzija, and that'll bring up Moss, who drew the first walk last inning.
We never know how it's going to work out, but in the estimation of Jeff Samardzija, he felt Santana a little more dangerous than Moss. So he went with a breaking ball on 3-2, kept it out of the zone, hoping that he would expand his zone, but he didn't. There are a lot of pitchers with excellent control that will use a walk as a bit of their arsenal. Pitching around guys they know that are hotter at any given one point than the next guy. Then you have to execute.
And count 0-2 with a lot of pitchers. Today they're just inundated with so much information about how to pitch these guys. A lot of pitchers in years past, the only thing they wanted to know was who's hot and who's not. And kept it a little simple. One and two.
Tried that cutter, the inside part of the plate, got it too far in.
And that's into left field. That's a can of corn. Pitches out of it once again. They've extended 5 over the last 2 innings, and we still lead it 1-0.
fantasy baseball on DraftKings for free using promo code SHYSOX.
Top of the order for our guys here in the bottom of the third. It'll be Cabrera and Abreu to face the 29-year-old right-hander out of Jacksonville, Florida, Corey Kluber, last year's Cy Young Award winner.
Good piece of battling and smart pitching by Jeff Samardzija. Actually pitching around Santana, knowing that he is their number one run producer, and getting the soft fly ball and out of the inning.
Adam struck out his first trip. Takes ball one.
Because of that bunt hit last night, and it was a beauty. It was right down the third base line, hugging the line, staying fair. Chisenhall is very close at third, as is Santana at first.
Outfield short and swung around to the left. One and two the count. Make your plans to be with us tomorrow. First of that 4-game set against Kansas City. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tomorrow and Friday night games, Saturday and Sunday, day games. Then we hit the road, go 3 to Baltimore and 4 in Minnesota. Just did get a piece of it.
We're going to have to deal with Adam Jones in Baltimore, who's off to just a great start. He is becoming one of baseball's best. He could always go get him in center field. And now he's hitting everything in sight.
He's always been a really good player. He is now moving into the next to the top echelon. He's moving to the outstanding player. And then, of course, once he'll get past that, which I think he will, he'll be a great player.
Never took a whole lot of walks, but now you make a mistake and he's hitting it.
Full count. Yeah, Adam, he can play. He can beat you. He can beat you any way you want to get beat from his standpoint. That ball hit deep into left center field. He looks up, it's one hops the wall. So Adam Eaton, he will pull in second with the leadoff double. That's his third two-bagger. And Jeff Shearer's picked the click.
You could tell a couple of days ago when Adam started to draw walks that he was seeing the ball better. Now to keep the ball away, there's a lot of left and center fielders that play him fairly shallow. He does have some pop the other way. This one stays in the park, but no chance to stop him from going to second base. So a very promising way to lead off the third inning.
And here's Cabrera. He struck out his first trip. Well, the first thing you'll notice about guys who can bunt, if they start bunting a little bit for base hits, they start swinging the bat better. Then you add that with drawing walks. Now they got a rhythm going. There's the bunt. Kluber just points to the thing, now picks it up. Now
I think what Kluber felt is that it made double contact at the plate.
And I think Lance Barksdale is going to agree with it. Now Cabrera.
I think Cabrera got hit by the ball. And Hermy is coming out. Hopefully it's not
either the ball or the glove.
We'll take another look at it. It hit the bat twice, and that's what Kluber was pointing at before he threw to first base. When he finally does, when he doesn't realize that Bolino is going to make the call, he hits him in the back of the head with it.
Boink.
So that one's not going to feel too good. Of course, as it hits the bat twice in foul territory, it's a foul ball. And even with a headache, Melky gets a chance to get him over.
Well, Barksdale was all over it. He saw it. And there's a base hit into left field. So Murph will get it back in. Runners at the corners and nobody out.
With 2 outs in the first inning, Jose came up, and just like last night, he hit it out. Not the first time he's homered off Corey Kluber. And Jose Abreu is today's T-Mobile game changer. 2 Cy Young Award winners in their respective leagues, Kluber and Kershaw, and Jose Abreu is the only player to homer off both. May 4th against Kluber, June 2nd against Kershaw. That's a very exclusive one-man club.
Got 5 Cy Young Award winners last year.
Not surprising. He's going to get a few more before it's over. He can really hit.
Breaking ball.
Melky is starting to get red hot. 10 for 18 over his last 5.
Now the biggest thing is a rhythm. Getting an offensive rhythm. You're getting a defensive rhythm. Catch everything. The team does. You're getting a pitching rhythm. They get everybody out. You're getting an offensive rhythm. It seems like everybody does their job. Ball left side. And they turn it. So Eaton scores, and it's a 2-0 Sox lead, but there will be no RBI for Abreu.
Last year, Lonnie Chisenhall had a tough year defensively, but this year he's gotten a bit better. This was a little chopper to the left side. Turned into an easy 2. But a 2-run lead behind Jeff Samardzija is something he never saw when he went head-to-head with David Price last time out.
Here's Adam. He's single right back through the middle. Takes it up high. And the count 2-0. Three and 0, turn him loose. Big hack in the count, 3-1.
Good pitch by Kluber, knowing that there was a very good chance that Adam would be swinging. He took a little something off and cut it on the inside portion of the plate. Adam out in front.
That ball is hit hard but foul. And Adam being a stand-up hitter. I personally love stand-up hitters. Most of the time, about 98% of the time you see a stand-up hitter, you'll see a good fastball hitter. But you also will see a lot of rockets foul, like you just saw. And that's ball 4.
Mechanically, Kluber got under that fastball and it sailed up and away. Got to keep that front shoulder closed, keep your fingers on top of the ball. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to keep it down in the zone.
Here's Avi, struck out his first trip. And there's a base hit. Nice piece of woodwork right there. Just flips it into right field.
This is a good pitch. It's a pitcher's pitch. But Avi stayed right on it. Able to hit it off the end of the bat and dump it into right field.
Here's Gillespie. Grounded out to his counterpart, Lonnie Chisenhall. That's high into center field. Bourne makes the call. He's got the ball, but we come up with one. We'll go to the fourth, leading 2-0. And their series against the Bucks. Coverage starts at 6:30 right here on Comcast Sports.
Jeff would love to have an easy inning and a short inning pitch-wise. He's been in trouble in the second and third using a whole lot of pitches so far to get through 3 innings.
So here's Murphy. Murphy, Chisenhall, and Perez. Murphy singled. Takes a breaking ball strike. "33-year-old veteran. Lays off the fastball. Count evens at 1. In that series starting tomorrow night against Kansas City, at 4-gamer, we're going to run Sale, Quintana, Danks, and Noesi out there. They're going to run Ventura, Duffy, Volquez, and Vargas.
Jeff does not really have his good stuff today. That's why he's been battling so much. He's only 1 strikeout through 3 innings, and 2 walks is most unusual for him.
That is over our dugout. So a full count.
Pretty high total with nobody out here in the 4th. Out to deliver, pitch number 71.
Knocks it down and can't get him. So that'll be a base hit.
There's a situation where the competitor and Jeff forced him to go up with his pitching hand. Had he taken a peek back, he might have realized that Alexei was playing up the middle. If he lets it go, it's going to be an easy grounder to him. Tries to do everything he can, cannot get it there in time.
Well, we talk about runners checking their outfielders. Pitchers have got to know where their infielders are playing.
Wind up costing him a base hit, and once again starting off the inning in some difficulty.
Here's Chisenhall. He fouled out to Gillespie, who stayed with it. A high pop-up wind was bringing it back in. He stayed with it to make a nice catch. And there's first pitch strike.
Jeff's facing 8 left-hand hitters with a couple of switch hitters in this lineup. The only right-hander is Perez, who hits in the A spot.
Ate him up right there, but it's not going to be played. Meanwhile, the count 0-2.
Jose did a nice job of hustling over there, but unfortunately that one just dropped harmlessly in the dugout. Not going to get a whole lot of help as he slips. They offer a little help after the fact.
Down in front. Down in front.
Low ball 1. That's out of play.
Looks like Jose has a little cut at the base of the right thumb, and it's not all that little.
That's into center field. Adams got the bead, got the ball, 1 out. Roberto Perez, the 26-year-old catcher, lined out hard to Javi Garcia at the end of the second inning.
He's the lone right-hander who is an inviting double play target if you can get him to hit the ball on the ground. Perez has grounded into one double play this year.
First pitch strike. Roberto out of Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. Oh, and 2 the count.
Take a look at that cut once again. That coming as he went over to try to get that foul pop up. I think he might have cut it on the screen in front of the Indians dugout.
Good pitch. Got way in on it.
Tries to throw this by him upstairs. Can't quite get the job done. But all 3 pitches on the inner portion. Good time for a hard slider low and away. We'll take a look in at Gio. See where he sets up. That's the slider. Let's see if he can get it low and away. Made a mistake.
Yes,
and left
he did.
it over
got
the
away
inside
with
part.
He got had a cookie and missed it.
We told you that Jeff's stuff wasn't as sharp as it has been, yet he's still throwing a shutout. He's still battling. Last pitch was a good indication that he doesn't have near the command that he has had. Now, it doesn't mean it won't come to him, but he's thrown a lot of pitches.
Last outing he had against the Tigers when he and Price locked up. He was all out on a lot of pitches. And it's early in the season. Yes, he just didn't get a piece of it.
I figured the good pitchers, and these are the good ones, not the great ones, but the good pitchers can go to the well 3 different times during the course of a performance. After that, the pitching coach and the manager have got to take a look at them and keep a close eye on just exactly what the stuff looks like. Jeff went to the well 3 and possibly 4 times against the Tigers. He reached back to get something extra a lot because he was in a jam.
He gone.
And that's that slider low and away that he's been looking for this entire at bat. Finally, on the 7th pitch, he got it. And so, the bullpen Shark Tank with a couple of strikeouts. Very happy. And there is the Shark Tank down the left field line.
Here's Ramirez, hit the ball sharply, leading off the 3rd inning, but hit it right to his counterpart, Alexei.
And with a whole lot of teams now bringing up their star prize youngsters from the minor leagues early in the season, the Cubs with Bryant and Russell. The Indians have Francisco Lindor, who's their shortstop of the future. Now, he's a bit younger than the other 2, but very talented. The Indians believe he's going to be their shortstop for a long time. The question then becomes, when do you go down and get him? In the meantime, Ramirez has done a very good job at shortstop for them.
2 out. And the 2-0 pitch. The ball lined hard in the center field for a base hit. Murphy will pull up at second. Fifth hit given up by Jeff. And we go back to the top of the order with a guy who has one of those hits, and he also is 6 for 12 lifetime against him, Michael Bourne. Breaking ball strike. He did not go. And the count 1-1. Next pitch will be number 90. With 2 out here in the top of the 4th.
That was one of the better breaking balls that Jeff has thrown, as that ball looked tantalizingly like a strike until the last instant and just dipped out of the zone.
So a fist full of 2s. 2 on, 2 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We lead it 2-0. And that's off his foot, leg, someplace.
Dan Bellino takes a long, slow walk out to hand Jeff Samardzija the ball to give Michael Bourne a chance to let that pain subside.
Just slaps that one.
That was a good pitch by Samardzija. He threw that ball low and away, trying to backdoor breaking ball, and Bourne was able to fight it off the end of the bat to stay alive.
Once again, the 2-2. Jose's got him, and that'll retire the side. So once again, the big man with big stones pitches out of it.
And how that cut is. Of course, I think you'd have to pull Abreu out of there with a tractor. Yes, it is cut. No, he's not concerned about it. And Hermie goes up and has a word with him. All smiles, which is good.
Rhythm. Let's get into a rhythm here. Alexei doubled with 1 out in the 2nd inning. He'll be followed by Soto and Micah Johnson. Breaking ball strike. That was one thing we noticed about Kluber last year. He's changing speeds on that breaking stuff, and it's just double trouble for hitters.
And when you can cut the ball to both sides of the plate and make it move each way with your fastball, it's really difficult. And the best part about his curveball is, unlike some, first of all, the curveball is the only pitch that leaves your hand and goes up. Every other pitch leaves your hand and goes down. A curveball will leave your hand, and if a hitter can notice it going up, then he can wake back with his hands. But Kluber's is a tight, late-breaking curveball. It's a short curve, and he's got such good command of it. You know, you don't strike out 260-plus men unless you have overwhelming stuff and great command, and he's got both of those.
Well, Doc Holliday even changed speeds on his breaking stuff once he came back up and he restructured his motion. And that's what Kluber did last year. And he did it to us the year before. He struck out 13 in a game against us, and we beat him.
I mean, that was the year when he went 11-5 and served notice that he was going to be a mainstay in that rotation. Of course, last year was just an enchanted year for him. There's an example of the quick, late breaking ball that he's got. That wasn't a curveball. That was more a bit of a short slider. But he threw it in a perfect spot, and Alexei goes down. Look at the location. Look at the late break. And a hitter just can't adjust to it. Doesn't have time to adjust.
Boy, that's a puff out of Doc Holliday right there. So here's Giovanni. He struck out on a fastball. 2-6-0 for us, 0-5-0 for them here in the bottom of the 4th inning if you're just tuning in. And checking the schedule of other games today. Oakland taking on the Angels at the Big A. Yankees at Detroit. Minnesota taking on the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. Houston at Seattle, Boston at Tampa Bay, and Baltimore taking on the Blue Jays up in Toronto. That's an interesting game. And some tempers were flaring. They're flaring all over baseball.
It's been, for a very cold start of the season, it's been pretty heated up between a whole lot of teams in the early going.
Well, I think one of the reasons, too, is that more organizations are starting to tell their pitchers. And I think that's one reason is now the right fielder, Moss, takes over. That we're starting to see the home runs go down, and among other things. But hey, fellas, you guys got to start pitching inside.
Well, that's the
and
only
the more
way.
you pitch inside, the more times guys are not going to like it because they're not used to it, and you're going to get hit.
Now, guys lock themselves in by standing off the plate, striding to the plate. They get locked in. They can't get out of the way of pitches that are 3, 4, 5 inches inside. In years past, that pitch would never hit anybody. Now it's hitting a whole lot of people, but you have to go inside.
Well,
Otherwise
the greatest feeling a hitter can have is to go to the plate, not have to worry about anything inside, look for the ball out over the plate. That's when he can do his optimum hitting. Now, if that's the best feeling that a hitter can have, pitcher's got to take that feeling away from him. And there for a long time, we've gone the last 10 years or so. First of all, the umpires wouldn't call an inside strike. Most of them still won't. But we've gone 10, 15 years now, pitchers going away. You do that, and you're probably going to get your brains beat out unless you got superior stuff. And not many guys have superior stuff.
No, there's just a few of those guys around the league. There's a couple of them going head to head in San Francisco. Clayton Kershaw, Madison Bumgarner. They not only both can pitch, they both can hit. And that's a great matchup tonight in a beautiful ballpark in San Francisco.
Ball hits sharply. Look at the play by Perez. Drops it. Had it in his glove. That's going to be a base hit. So good speed aboard.
And a 5-game hitting streak for Micah. This is where a reputation precedes him and helps him with this play. Ramirez knows that Micah Johnson's one of the fastest men in baseball. And he does a quick turn, realizing he's got to get rid of it, because if he doesn't get rid of it, he's got no chance at first base. Odds are overwhelming he wouldn't have gotten him anyway. But you hurry up, you drop the baseball. Micah's aboard in a running situation against Perez, who's just 1 for 7, throwing out would-be base stealers.
Here's Adam. He's 1 for 2, a double, and a run scored.
Time now for AT&T Uverse Multiview. See Micah getting his lead. It's a pretty good lead.
One and 0 the count.
Be very surprised if Kluber did not go over to first base on this pitch. Micah was getting a very, very good jump, and teams are hesitant to call 1-0 pitch outs.
There's a throw. He got it right on the money by Perez. And that'll retire the side. We're into the 5th, leading 2-0. For them here in the top of the 5th inning. For the Tribe, it'll be Kipnis, Brantley, Santana to face Jeff Samardzija. This will be pitch number 94. That's good. 1 pitch, 1 out.
See the White Sox take on the Kansas City Royals on Friday, April 24th at 7:10. The first 20,000 fans will receive a White Sox reusable tote bag presented by the MLB Network. Stay after the game for a postseason fireworks show presented by the aforementioned MLB Network. Visit whitesox.com/promos or call 866-SOX-GAME.
There's Brantley. He's popped to short and gone out to left. You're just tuning in. Jeff had a 1-2-3 first inning. Since that time, stranded 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. It's been a battling, but that's what good pitchers do. They don't have very good stuff. They have good control. First thing you know, you look up, you're midway through the ball game, and the other team doesn't have any runs.
Well, it hasn't been for lack of opportunities, because the Indians stranded 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth. So a low pitch, easy inning would certainly be on the menu for Jeff.
He gone. Just did catch the outside edge of the outside corner. 2 down.
You're going to have a good day. These are the calls you have to have. Backdoor breaking ball. Soto does a nice job of easing it into the zone. Probably an eyelash outside, but too close to take. And Brantley is down on strikes.
Santana has grounded to second and walked. Takes a changeup off the plate. Two and 1 to count to the 29-year-old switch hitting first baseman. Gillespie out there in short right field. Breaking ball, back door, and the count 2-2.
Same spot as the one called on Brantley.
Stay out there.
You're going to get it. There's no reason not to, because the hitter's going to give up on it.
Good try. Full count.
Moss on deck if Santana can keep it alive. Inside fastball.
And a high pop up left side of Alexei. He's good on note. We're halfway home. It is 2-0. Good guys. fifth inning and a 2-0 Sox lead in the finale of this 3-game set, and it is a rubber match. And we talked about the shark cage down in the left field corner down there. And tomorrow Chris Sale is going to be on the bump, so it will be the K zone. So fans can come out, get your hat, your t-shirt, and your card, K card. All that for just $20.
See Chris Sale against the very talented Kansas City team. Winners of 3 in a row. And tied for first with Detroit.
Top of the order, Adam Eaton, Cabrera on deck, and Abreu in the hole.
Here's the Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it is the double in the third inning. You got a fastball away. Took it over the head of Bourne, who had no chance for it. Hustles into second base, and later scores on the double play ground ball off the bat of Abreu.
And another thing tomorrow, the fans who purchase a taste testing ticket can sample new ballpark food offerings at tomorrow's Taste of Chi Sox event.
Well, that's great, because anytime you can get bacon on a stick, that's a place I'd like to be.
1-2 pitch. Just got a piece of it over into the Tribe dugout.
That's where the tasting is going to take place.
I believe there are going to be 6 new items over there that you can taste. And once again, the 1-2. The ball hit hard but foul.
That's the extra base seating area. You get a great view, and they feed you, which is really good.
Ball hit hard into right field, right at him for the most part. So that's a hang with him for Adam Eaton. He's starting to get it cranked up.
Hey, Sox fans, the Xfinity Fundamentals deck at U.S. Cellular Field is accessible from the 100, 300, and 500 levels. Young Sox fans can learn baseball fundamentals from White Sox Training Academy coaches, and the space also features batting, pitching, and base running areas. It's all from Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
Here's Melky. He's 1 for 2. Starts him off with a changeup. That hit was a single after Adam led off the third with a double. So that put Eaton on third and set up the second run. Broken bat. 2 out. So here's Abreu. Jose, that home run, and then he had a ground ball into a double play, but Eaton scored for the second run.
Not bad, coming on the heels of performance last night where he went 2 for 4 and drove in both of the Sox runs with his first inning homer, his 8th inning single.
There's the breaking ball strike.
It's game number 21 that he's played against the Indians. He's got 8 home runs in those 21 games.
Out and around it. Low throw. Oh, nice pick by Santana. So we have completed 5 and we lead it 2-0.
And the bullpen is up and going for the Sox for the first time. Double barreled action.
This will be pitch number 104 for Jeff, and that ball hit hard in the right field. Obviously not going to be able to get it. So Moss is going to lead it off with a double. That's his 3rd double of the season.
He got him out in a big situation with the bases loaded. Soft fly ball in the 3rd inning, but this time he cranks it over the head of Garcia. Now you got to watch Jeff pretty closely. He hasn't had his good stuff, although he had a very good 5th inning. But that's the first extra base hit of the day.
Here's Murphy. 2 for 2. One of an infield single. That's going to get the job done. Micah. So 1 out.
Nice job by Murphy, because he went up in that situation knowing that one way or the other you've got to get Moss to 3rd base with only 1 out. So he gets a hand from his teammates. They appreciate the effort. And in the Sox pen, Patrichka and Jennings loosening up in a hurry. Don Cooper calling Bobby Thigpen, wanting to know if they're ready yet.
Stay right there on him. Chisenhall. He's fouled out to Gillespie. He made a nice play. And he's gone out to center.
Sox are going to concede the run if it's hit to the middle infield.
Right there. Just stay right there. Throw another one. And he'll grab some bench.
Boy, it is a cold day. Look how swollen his nose is.
That's looped into short center field. Coming on. He's there. And there'll be no advance by Moss. So a good pitch. 3 good pitches right there on Chisenhall.
Mike Sarbaugh, the 3rd base coach, realizing that Adam Eaton had all the best of it. He's coming straight forward. He's got a very strong and accurate arm. And with all this momentum and the fact that Moss does not have great speed, you can't even think about tagging up and scoring. Samardzic getting him back of Soto where he should be.
That'll bring up Roberto Perez, who has lined out hard to Avi in right field and struck out on a beautiful slider.
Jeff knows most likely this is going to be it for him. So whatever he's got left in the tank, he's going to try to show it to Perez and get out of the inning. Certainly don't want this inning alive to get to Ramirez, who hit the ball very hard a couple of times off him.
They won the count. To the count.
Takes a little something off this. It's a slider, and it's right there.
Ground ball, Alexei. So Samardzija answers the leadoff double challenge, pitches out of it, and we'll go to the bottom of the sixth.
DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball on DraftKings for free using promo code SHYSOX.
Bottom of the sixth inning in a 2-0 Sox lead. For us, it'll be LaRoche, Garcia, and Gillespie to face Corey Kluber.
Kluber's averaged over 7 innings per start. Jeff Samardzija has really battled his way through 6. Giving up just 1 extra base hit, no runs. And this is far less than his best. But he's made great pitches when he's had to.
Adam has singled up the middle and walked. Come on, Adam, start us off right here. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
And Don Cooper talking things over with Jeff. Jeff might be telling him wouldn't mind staying in a little longer.
That ball ripped into just over the head of Kipnis. And a good start to the 6th.
Perfect day for Adam LaRoche. He has A base on balls sandwiched in between two singles. Kipnis cannot get to it. A little promising way to start the bottom of the 6th.
Ivy 1 for 2. This should be easy here. No, can't get it. Get a little soft as he broke his bat. Good pitch by Kluber, so 1 out.
Fans, the First Merit Bank Stadium Club offers breathtaking views of U.S. Cellular Field and delicious food and beverage options for you to enjoy prior and during White Sox games. Purchase a First Merit Bank Stadium Club membership by calling 312-674-1000. And there it is, with a great view in climate-controlled elegance.
Here's Connor. Connor's due. He's 1 for 9 in this series. 0 for 2 today. And he delivers. Get by it. Get by it. It will. It will. Now they're going to hold him at third, and a good thing. Good call by Joe McEwing as Moss hits the cutoff man right on the money. So the double by Gillespie.
All Joe McEwing is taking a look at is where that first relay is and how quickly it gets to Kipnis. Moss does a nice job of getting it back in. Kipnis is right there, turns around without hesitation, and no chance at all for Avi to score. He's hustling. Here he picks up McEwing, who says, stay right here.
Oh, he was bringing it. He was ready to score. He got the okay.
And Mickey Callaway comes out to talk with Kluber. He's only thrown 82 pitches. And Gordon Beckham is coming in. He'll pinch run for Connor Gillespie and take over defensively at third. That will usually be the pattern late in the ball game when the Sox have the lead.
So now the infield's going to come in. You got Alexei at the plate. You got Giovanni Soto on deck. So we'll see what they want to do as far as pitch selection goes, as Alexei has doubled and struck out. Breaking ball in the dirt.
Once he's one of the leading run producers, was all of spring training, and is in the early going. We're somewhat surprised if he gives him any type of fastball to hit. And might not pitch to him at all with first base open.
Well, if he gives him a fastball to hit, it's going to be a big mistake in location. That ball gets all the way back, so here comes Avi. Avi will score, and it's 3-0.
That's the big problem with trying to pitch around a hitter. And that's wild pitch number 3 for Kluber. He throws a slider. He wanted it low and away off the plate, and he held onto it too long and threw it right by Perez. A big run.
Well, if you're going to go around somebody, just put 4 fingers up.
Sometimes it costs you, and you don't figure with Corey Kluber on the mound that it will with his pinpoint control, but that time it did.
So now they come in a little closer. No, with Kluber, that's the last thing enters your mind. Big hack right there. So the count 2-1. Big run out there, Tim. Count evens at 2. We get a big break there on that wild pitch because that ball came right back to the screen. All of a sudden hit something and darted over towards our dugout. He comes right back at him. They got a shot at the plate.
We've seen that a few different ballparks. Doesn't happen in this one too often. But on the road, we've seen that carom come right back to the catcher.
Seems like every one of them goes right back to the catcher. He rings him up. Calls him out on the pitch.
Yeah. Lexi asked him if he swung. And I think Dan Bellino said, yeah, it was a pretty decent pitch. Perfect spot.
Well, it's one of those could go either way. So here's Soto. Strikeout and a pop up to right field. Now the infield back at normal position. About another wild pitch. Bury one in the dirt. That one at 90 for a strike. First time Giovanni's had a chance to face him was in the second inning when he struck out. Then he popped up in the fourth.
Kluber got away with that one because he tried to throw it low and away. Same spot he threw Ramirez. Hung it right over the middle of the plate. And Giovanni couldn't pull the trigger. So pitch number 90 on the way.
Watch out. They got time. They take it. They make it. But we come up with a big gift run right there. And we're going to the 7th, leading 3-0.
Miller light, and it's a high wire act by Jeff Samardzija, who gets out of some jams. First in the third inning with the bases loaded. Little pop up to left field. He's out of it. Then in the fourth inning, Michael Bourne on a soft line drive, and Jeff gets out of it. And then after a leadoff double in the sixth, the ground ball to shortstop, and Jeff once again gets out of it. So he'll depart with a 3-0 lead. Turn it over to Dan Jennings as Gordon Beckham stays in the game at third base. And Jennings comes on for the second time in the series. He threw in the opener, went an inning and 2/3 with a walk and a strikeout. Left-handers usually fare better against the Tribe than right-handers. There you look at some pretty impressive numbers, and Jennings' stuff continues to get better each and every time out.
Here's Ramirez, the shortstop. He is 1 for 2. Just a very, very gutsy performance by Samardzija.
Gave up 6 hits, walked a pair, fanned 3. Had 2 easy innings. 1 in the first inning, 1 in the 5th inning. The other 4, he had some problems.
Back up, yes! Mercy! Beautiful play by Gordon.
Gordon came on a pinch run, and defensively, he's pretty good wherever Robin decides to play him. Today it's third base, and he takes a base hit away from Ramirez. And it'll be the left-handers now facing Jennings with Bourne, Kipnis, if anybody gets on, Brantley.
Samardzija reminds me of a couple of guys. When he doesn't have his good stuff and his good control, that's when they seem to have more fun out there on the mound, and that was Mark Burley and Catfish Hunter.
Well, you could tell early that he didn't have his real good pop on the fastball. The fastball was 92, 93 as opposed to 96 to 98 against Detroit.
2 down. Bourne is retired. Yeah, well, that's what good pitchers do. You know, when they got their good stuff and their good control, you can just wrap it up and send it to Cooperstown most of the time.
Maybe arguably the greatest pitcher that ever pitched for a short period of time was Sandy Koufax, and he said in one of the many books done about him that he had his great stuff 25% of the time, which left 75% where you have to win with some degree of less than your best. Well, today this was maybe 50% of Jeff's good stuff, and yet he threw 6 shutout innings against a team predominantly left-handed.
Well, hitters are the same way. You're great hitters. They don't have to have all the stars and alignment. They don't have to have all their metabolism. And a good friend of mine says molecules in order. They're still going to get their base hits. Now, you guys that are not that good, they go through their funks and their slumps. But your good players, your good pitchers, they go out there and they battle you. And they, as I said, and you know, give you another is in golf. Jack Nicklaus was talking to me one day. He was trying to help me, and he said, Hawk, he said, the secret of golf is not going out and hitting it good, putting good, and shooting 64, 65. He said the secret of golf is going out and hitting it sideways and having trouble making 6-footers, and you got to shoot 70, 71. That's the secret, and that's what Samardzija did today.
You minimize the damage. On the enchanted days, it is relatively easy for great hitters or great pitchers. When they're having great days, you're going to have some problems if you're an opponent. Right.
You're beat. Be gone. Good inning for Jennings. Beautiful play by Beckham. 7th inning stretch. We lead at 3-0. 3-9-0 for our guys, 0-6-0 for their guys. Here in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Johnson. And back at the top of the order with Eaton and Cabrera. Micah 1 for 2. '29-year-old right-hander Corey Kluber. Takes first pitch strike, does Micah. .43 degrees as we speak. There's a little looper. That could be trouble. It is. So good speed aboard.
Enjoy U.S. Cellular Field just like a player. You can play catch in the outfield, warm up in the bullpens, and visit the dugouts along with much more. Join us for Family Field Day on Saturday, May 30th, and support Chicago White Sox charities. To purchase tickets, visit whitesoxcharities.org.
Chisenhall comes well in on the grass at third. Outfield there, swung around to the left slightly, spread out. Adam is 1 for 3, a double and a run scored. Ball gets away to Micah. That might be a pass ball there.
That ball in the dirt?
No,
it is
that's in the dirt.
A wild pitch as it scoots away from Perez. And Kluber with 2 wild pitches today. Very much uncharacteristic wildness. He had 3 all year last year. He's got 4 in the early going this year.
Well, that big good breaking ball he's got, that's amazing. Only 3 wild pitches last season. And that'll get the job done. He pokes it right in that hole, so Michael will hold at third. Runners at the corners and nobody out. Jeff Shearer's picked a click. Adam Eaton.
This ball just spun right over the middle of the plate. And the bullpen now for the Indians up and going is Kluber. All ready to deliver number 95 is that ball just by Chisenhall.
Here's Cabrera. He's 1 for 3. Strikeout, a single, and a ground out to short. Indians with second and short in more than halfway. And there's a base hit. He pokes that one right in the hole. So Micah scores, and it's a 4-0 Sox lead.
The table setters are starting to set the table. Adam Eaton and Melky Cabrera at the top. If they start to hit like they can, Abreu, LaRoche, and Garcia are going to drive in a ton of runs. And Melky's been red hot lately. Adam Eaton is starting to hit the ball right on the button. That bodes well for the offense.
It's a rhythm. It's contagious. Abreu, that homer in the first inning, he's 1 for 3. Whoa, just underneath that one. Boy, made a good pass at it.
Sipczynski loosening up in the pen as Kluber appears to be running out of gas.
This will be pitch number 97. Big pitch right here, the 1-1. And it goes Jose's way. 2 balls in the strike.
A pretty good cutter on the outside corner that time.
The 2-2 pitch. Just did get a piece of it. So 1 in, 2 on, nobody out. 4-12-0 for us, 0-6-0 for them.
Zach Duke listening in the bullpen. A very strong inning for Dan Jennings.
This chop foul left side.
One pitch way in. That was just to push him off the plate. And the other 5 kept away on our Toyota pitch tracks.
Left field. It's going to be over his head. Short hops the fence. Here comes one. They're waving Melky around. He will score. And it's a 6-0 Sox lead on the double, the 2-run double by Abreu.
Jose has 12 of them this year. This one was low and away, but Jose went out. He caught it. Shows you how strong he is. He was out on the front foot and drove it over the head of Murphy. No chance for him. And that is going to be it for Corey Kluber, who gave up 13 hits. Abreu his responsibility, and 6 runs so far. So as Corey Kluber walks off, we'll step out and be back after these messages. His ERA 5.40. 5 innings, 3 earned runs on 6 hits. Fan 4, walked 1. And you might remember him from his days with the Minnesota Twins. So he inherits Abreu at second base, down 6-0. And a perfect day for Adam LaRoche to this point.
He's 2 for 2 with a walk. They got a shift on for him as he takes inside ball 1. Count evens. That's into left field. Murphy is there, makes the catch, and that's out number 1. So here's Ivy.
Dating back to September 27th of 2013, the 6 earned runs, the most given up by Corey Kluber, with the 7th pending.
There's a little 3-hopper. And 2 down. That'll bring up Beckham making his first plate appearance. Gillespie was 1 for 3. Had a big double last inning. Gordon comes in hitting at 400. 1 homer. He's knocked in 4. Gordon 6 for 15 on the season. That's up high, 2-1. Gordon also, if you're just tuning in, made that beautiful play on Jose Ramirez leading off the top half of this inning. Big hack in, the count evens at 2. Fights that fastball off, that one at 95. Warzak, 2013, had 96 innings. That led to major leagues in relief innings. 48 appearances. Just got a piece of it. Once again, a reminder, make your plans to be with us starting tomorrow, first of a big 4-game set against Kansas City. And Chris Sale will be out on that bump against Yordano Ventura. If you can make it, that game will be right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Then on Friday, Quintana against Duffy. On Saturday, Danks against Volquez. As he gets him, but a big 3 spot goes up there on the board. We'll go to the 8th, leading 6-0. Comcast Sportsnet viewing party. Now the action starts at 5 with a special on-location edition of Sports Talk Live. Then stick around for a huge night on CSN Chicago, including Game 3 in Milwaukee and Game 5 at Nashville.
And we got a new pitcher coming in the ball game, and it is Zach Duke. Duke came out last night for an inning, walked 1, fanned 1, threw a scoreless 9th. Overall, on for the 7th time, his ERA 3.38. Along with Jennings, they have provided a very formidable left-handed duo out of the bullpen, of course, joined by Carlos Rodon. Now there's 3 lefties out there.
Brantley 0 for 3. He's popped to short, gone out to left, and struck out. Takes ball 1. And 1 to count with Santana on deck.
When Duke drops down sidearm, normally you would think it would only be effective to the left-hand hitters, but we've seen this year that right-handers also are deceived by that motion.
Michael just did get a piece of it. Sox with 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 6th, and 3 in the 7th. 2-2. If you're just joining us, just 1 home run that by Abreu in the 1st inning. Full count. And there's the leadoff walk.
Hey parents, the White Sox baseball camps are open to boys and girls ages 5 to 12 in over 50 communities. Every camper gets an exclusive tour of U.S. Cellular Field to meet a current White Sox player and coach. Camps are sponsored by 670 The Score, Beggar's Pizza, Comcast Sportsnet, Tribune Media Group, and Athletico. Call 630-PLAY-BALL or visit bullsoxacademy.com to find a camp near you.
First pitch strike to Santana, who has grounded to second, walked, and popped to short.
Infield not playing him near as much of a pull hitter as they usually do from the right side.
Can't get it in the count 0-2. Pulled a string on him, had him off balance. Starting to warm up now. It's 45.
T-shirt weather.
He gone. One down.
I'd like to send along special thanks and a yeoman-like job to a lot of our crew who worked late into the night in that triple overtime Hawks thrilling victory against Nashville. They were back out here for a day game today. It was an absolutely beautiful, beautiful game. Blackhawks winning it. Seabrook finally put in a goal at 1:16 Central Time. What a night.
There's a strike. Well, when they're healthy, they're just about as exciting as any team in sports, period.
I was sitting there pretty much hoping that one of the Hawks would put it away, knowing it was a short turnaround. Not bad for us. A little tough on some of the crew.
That's foul. Well, believe it or not, our guys, I'm not saying they're used to that kind, but they're familiar with it. They work their behinds off each and every day. Jerry Sands has come out on deck. Yes, he did. He gone.
Take the game ball for retiring Ryan Rayburn. As much damage as he's done against our ball club. Sidearm hook. Caught the inside corner, and Dan Bellino says he did not check his swing. Rayburn, who came on to pinch hit with a single and a double and 2 runs batted in last night. He's now driven in 79 runs lifetime against our Sox.
That magic one of his worked on that broken bat little single on the left, knocking in a pair. Sands takes ball 1. And there's a base hit right off the end of the bat.
Mike Aviles is going to come out to pinch hit for Lonnie Chisenhall.
Aviles hitting at 280, a homer. Played center field in game 1. First pitch strike.
Jake Petrichka loosening in the pen. Recently activated off the DL. Looks like he's going to get an inning of work.
Two on, 2 out. 1-1 to count. Aviles all-purpose player. Made starts at second, third, short, left, center, and right last year for the Tribe. And always tough against us. Three and one. Roberto Perez on deck. Souvenir right side, so a full count. And the payoff. Little emergency swing right there.
He looked at it, not sure if it was going to be close enough, and realized that it was too close to take, and had a very little swing. Reminiscent of the way that Hervé Villachez used to swing the bat many years ago.
Good playing. A little better swing right there and underneath it. Back down to 43 degrees. And right here, another 3-2. Ball hit into center field. We got a man there. Makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the eighth, leading 6-0. We lead at 6-0.
And we've got some defensive changes as Jerry Sands stays in the game in right field. Ryan Rayburn is in left field. Mike Aviles is at third.
Gets through it, will. So Alexei starts it off. That's his second hit of the game. He had a double back in the second inning.
Follow live White Sox baseball in 2015 with MLB.com at bat. The app features in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay previews, radio broadcasts, and more. New features, including StatCast tracking videos and bilingual access for Spanish-speaking fans, are also available. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
First pitch strike to Giovanni. He's 0 for 3.
Giovanni did a very nice job of handling Jeff Samardzija today. Catcher is really the first to know when a pitcher doesn't have his stuff, because sometimes a pitcher can have very good stuff in the bullpen, come in the ball game, all of a sudden things aren't working very well, and a good veteran catcher can certainly ease his way through a performance. I think Soto did a nice job of catching Jeff today. He did a great job with less than his best, and he gets rung up.
A 1 out, second strikeout as far as that. And here's Micah. He's 2 for 3 with a run scored.
Good thing about Micah's been doing is they talked to him early about keeping the ball out of the air, because his first few games had a tendency to lift the ball to left center field. His game is speed, and a speed game dictates you hit the ball on the ground as much as possible until, of course, you get your feet on the ground, and there'll be time for that. But he looks better and better, and if he gets it figured out, you go 9-1-2 with Johnson, Eaton, and Cabrera as table setters. It's going to be a strong offense.
One on, 1 out, 1-1 to count.
Back today, Johnson, Eaton, Cabrera, Abreu, and LaRoche all have multi-hit games.
Full count. Just to the Red Sox with a run in the first, homer by Abreu. Another one in the third, another one in the sixth, then 3 in the 7th. That's Samardzija pitching. Didn't have his real good stuff or his good control today. All he did was just shut him out. For those 6 innings, that's out number 2.
One, 2, and 3 in the series have gotten the job done, and when that happens, usually win the series, and that's what the Sox intend to do in this one. With Adam Eaton 5 for 11, Melky Cabrera 5 for 12, Jose Abreu 5 for 12. 2 home runs and 5 driven in for the big man in the 3 spot, and the table setters were setting the table.
First pitch strike to Adam. That's too high. Tomorrow night, first of 4 with Kansas City, so make your plans to be with us. Chris Sale on the bump against Rodano Ventura. That's high and deep in the center field. Now Bourne runs underneath it right at the edge of the track, and that'll retire the side. So we're into the 9th, leading 6-0.
Sportsnet is brought to you by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball on DraftKings for free using promo code ShySox.
Jake Petrichka comes in the ball game, and it's good to see him back. 6'5", 205 pounds. And last year, although he was 1-6, that didn't really tell the tale. His ERA was .296. He appeared in 67 games. Was asked to close for a while. Was 14 for 18, and that's not all bad. And Sox missed his good right-handed stuff, so hopefully he will be 100%. You know he's going to be strong, and it's nice to see him back and healthy.
Here's Perez. Yeah, you talk to opposing hitters about Petrichka, and they will tell you they don't like to hit against him.
He had very good stuff most of last year.
Two 2-0 the count. It's 3-0. Six 14-0 for us, 07-0 for them. There's the strike. So the leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Jose Ramirez, who is 1 for 3. He was robbed of a base hit on a gorgeous play by Beckham, leading off the 7th inning. So Jose is not going to hold Perez on. Play in front of him. And there's a strike. Alexei. Can they turn it? No, but what a play by Alexei. Beautiful play on a hard hit ball by Ramirez.
Ramirez, one of the fastest of the Indians, especially from the left side. He gets down there in a hurry. Normal runner, this is going to be an easy 2. But Ramirez able to beat the play, and a big effort by Alexei.
So here's Michael Bourne. He's 1 for 4 today. Two 2-0 the count. And it's 2-1. Fouls that one away. And once again, a reminder, tomorrow night our homestand continues as our Sox open up a big series with the Royals. First pitch starts at 7 on CSN Plus 2, our Cozy TV. So go to csnchicago.com to check your local listings. Chris Sale on the bump against Jordano Ventura. Be some gas coming off that hill tomorrow night. Full count. Back to the middle into center field for a base hit. So now that big play by Alexei looms bigger. 2 on, 1 out.
Now the Sox bullpen getting ready in earnest.
And here's Kipnis.
Zach Putnam starting to loosen into pen.
Kipnis. 1 for 4, takes strike 1. Close, just a little low.
That was a good moving fastball.
He's got good movement on it today. Good sinkage.
Let's have to figure with all that time that he missed coming back now. Pinpoint control probably won't be there, but he certainly needed to knock the rust off.
Like he tried to fool him with motion right there on that changeup.
That's exactly what happened, and he tipped off that changeup.
Yeah, he did.
He's going to have to work on that because he wouldn't have had Kipnis out front. It's a good thing that ball was low and out of the zone.
Right to the bag, and he'll take it, and this ball game is over. So the Sox take the rubber match. A tremendous performance from Jeff Samardzija, who went out there, battled them, went 6 shutout innings. And what a performance by Shark.
I just thought that he was brilliant with what he had today, giving up just 6 hits, walked 2, fanned 3, pitched out of 4 different jams. Once again, it wasn't an easy day for him, but was a day where he pitched well enough to pick up his first win of the year and defeated the reigning Cy Young Award winner. So a good day and a good series is had by all.
And he is our player of the game, Jeff Samardzija. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer John Walgren, our associate producer Chris Kampka, our technical manager Mark Harper, also for the mayor, Angel Group, Frank Leone, Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, and for the executive producer Jim Corno Jr. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Jen and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.